Good afternoon, attendees, and welcome to the StriveScan program for Illinois students. Today's session is Indiana, the University of Iowa, and the University of Missouri. My name is Kathy Major. I am a member of IACAC and a volunteer. And just a few housekeeping things before we get started, and then we'll turn it over to the experts that you signed up to listen to. You will not be able, the presenters cannot see you and cannot hear you. So your cameras and your audio have been muted. In order to ask questions, there is a Q&A button you will see. So you will type in your questions and the panelists will answer it. All of these sessions are being recorded, so you can always go back and look at it at a later time. In fact, you can look at any of the many programs that are being offered. We started September 15th, they end October 22nd, so you can always go to the IACAC website and view those. All of those webinars are recorded and they'll be posted. That website is www.iacac.org. So without further ado, we will turn it over to our panelists.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to start with some quick introductions. I'm Stephanie Duff, and I'm a regional Chicago representative for the University of Missouri, or Mizzou. And I actually went to Mizzou as well, so I'm a proud alum. We also have Indiana here with us today.
Hi, everybody. My name's Scott Siegel. I'm the Senior Associate Director of Admissions at IU Bloomington. I also am a Regional Admissions Director that works with students in Illinois. I'm also an alum of my institution. I graduated from IU in our Media School and College of Arts and Sciences. And then we also have Iowa with us today.
I'm Annabelle Vinson. I am one of the assistant directors in the office, and like Stephanie and Scott, primarily focus on traveling to schools in the Chicagoland area. So we may be interacting with many of you even beyond the session today. So again, welcome. I did attend the University of Iowa, but I grew up in Illinois, and now I'm living back in the Chicagoland area, talking to future Hawkeyes. So it's great. So before we get started, I do want to reiterate that if you do have any questions along the way, we will encourage you to use the Q&A feature. We will answer them along the way, but we'll also include time at the end to answer any questions that we didn't catch. Before we dive into specific information related to our universities, we do want to lead with a few highlights. So we're all large public universities located in college towns of various sizes, which you can see the population of our towns here. All of our institutions are within driving distance from Illinois. So if you're looking to go to a school that's close to home, where you can go home on the weekends, so you're not missing out on family events. And maybe sometimes if you're like missing Portillo's and there isn't one on campus, you can drive back home for that. And then we all offer many academic programs, 200 plus to be exact, and you can apply to any of our institutions either via our institutional apps that you'll find on our websites or the Common Application. So now we'll touch on the specifics about each one of our universities. So the University of Iowa is located in Iowa City, Iowa. The picture you see here up on the screen, that's the center of our campus. So that building with the gold dome is our old Capitol on campus. It's more of a museum, and we do have some events that take place there. But most of your classes at the University of Iowa are going to be held within the 4 buildings surrounding that old Capitol. If not within those 4 buildings, your classes are going to be within a 2 to 3 block radius. So about 10 to 12 minutes if you're walking to class, which I would say that's how most students get around on campus. Right across the street from the center of our campus is our downtown area. So if you're looking for coffee shops, restaurants, clothing stores, art galleries, all of that is literally right across the street. We have over 100 different businesses in the downtown area of Iowa City, and about 70 of those businesses are owned by Iowa alumni. So at the University of Iowa, we are ranked the 34th best public national university, and that ranking is by US News and World Report. And when students are looking at bigger schools, they often think that like our classes are all going to be like large lecture classes, but our student to teacher ratio on campus is 15 to 1, and actually 80% of our classes have 30 students or fewer. So yeah, your first 2 years, you'll see, you could be attending lecture style classes, but just know that if you do attend a larger lecture, they do break down into a smaller group of 30 that meets 1 day a week. And that's where you'll ask questions, turn in assignments, take quizzes. So it's more of like a smaller group setting. Once you're in your major, say your junior, senior year, maybe even sooner than that for some majors, on average, you'll see about your classes will be about 30 students or fewer. Now, we have over 200 areas of study at the University of Iowa. If you want a double major, maybe add a minor or a certificate program, those are all included in that 200, but we have 11 different colleges on campus. For most students that are coming onto campus, like I would say our second most popular major for incoming students is our open major. But if you need more time to decide, that will allow you to just designate it as an open major. Students from Illinois, however, these tend to be the more popular majors for students who are coming from Illinois, with business and pre-business being at the top, health sciences majors, as well as psychology and communication studies, which was my major, is within that top list of majors. So you'll notice that it says pre-business and business. That basically just means there are various opportunities of how to enter a college. Students can apply right out of high school to be directly admitted into business or nursing or engineering, but there are also options to apply when you're a current student on campus. Like I said, we have just over 31,000 students at Iowa, but just under 5,000 are first-year students. Within that first-year student population, we draw 58% of our students from the state of Iowa, but 42% are from outside other states, including international students. When you apply to the University of Iowa, we're not looking for specific ACT or GPA, but we have listed the averages here. So our average GPA for incoming students has been a 3.76 on a 4-point scale, and our middle 50% as far as ACT or SAT, between a 22 and a 29 on the ACT, and around between a 1140 and 1330 SAT. Now you're probably wondering, okay, how can I be admitted? Our application is now live, so for any students who are seniors in the group, you are eligible to apply. Anyone who's younger than a senior, maybe you're a junior or younger, the earliest you can apply is the summer prior to your senior year starting. So you just want to make sure you complete your junior year. So at the University of Iowa, we use something called the Regent Admission Index formula. What that formula looks at is your ACT or SAT composite score, your cumulative GPA, and then the total number of core classes completed. So going back to your ACT or SAT composite, we don't super score at the University of Iowa, so we're looking at just your overall composite score from one sitting. Your GPA, if you've taken AP or honors classes and you have a weighted GPA and that's higher, you'll want to use that for your application. And then the core classes, okay, what are those classes? We're talking English, language arts, world language, social studies, science, and math. And then computer science will also fold into that as well. So if you plug in everything into the formula, as long as you have a 255 or higher, plus those high school courses completed by the time you graduate from high school, you will be admitted to Iowa. Now, we recognize that many students have had a hard time taking the ACT or SAT once, if not multiple times, because of the cancellations. And so for this year, the Board of Regents has made an exception for any student who's applying for fall 2021 that you will not be required to submit a test score. So if that's the case, this formula actually won't apply to you because you're missing a component. So if you're applying without a test score, we will ask that you send in a personal statement and a transcript. So with that, we'll review at your application holistically, and our decisions are made based on a rolling basis. Excuse me. So our application, like I said, is now open, and our application deadline is May 1st. But if you're interested in applying to nursing or any of our other colleges directly, we would encourage you to submit an application at least by the end of this first semester. And lastly, once you're on campus, we just want you to get involved right away. So we have over 500 clubs and organizations where we have academic, social, religious, political groups on campus. One that I do like to highlight is our Dance Marathon organization or group, which is our largest student organization on campus. And what Dance Marathon does is they raise money for children who are affected by cancer and currently going through treatment at the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics. It's a 24-hour event. So leading up into the event, you're fundraising, and there are a lot of different events that like help you get to know all the other students that are part of this organization. But it's a 24-hour event where you're standing, you're dancing, you can't have caffeine, you can't sit, but they really do keep you entertained throughout the 24 hours. So they bring in different entertainment and speakers, and the families that are able to leave the hospital setting visit the event too. So it really is a great event to be a part of. But last year they raised just over, it was around $3 million for the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics. So that's amazing. So if you're not really sure what to get involved in, that would be a great organization to get started. But again, we have many other organizations to be a part of. Now, we do have performing arts, which is one of our stronger programs on campus, and we have over 400 performing arts events that happen throughout the year. Now, as a student, you can attend these events, but if you are like an engineering major and you want to get involved in music, you are able to do that. You don't have to major in performing arts to be a part of the performances and groups on campus. So feel free to do both. We have 24 Division I athletic teams on campus. And then, like I said, we have over 100 restaurants and cafes in our downtown area. But before I turn it over to Scott, I just want to share one tradition that we have on campus. So on the screen, you'll see a picture of Kinnick Football Stadium, which holds 70,000 fans. And if you are like doing the numbers, we only have 30,000 students at Iowa, but we have 70,000 people who have filled the stadium. So we have a very large following of loyal Hawkeye fans. We have a lot of folks in the Chicagoland area that are alumni that still have season tickets and will drive to Iowa City just for these games and sporting events. But that building just to the left of our football stadium, that oval-shaped building, is our children's hospital on campus. And it was intentionally built so that the kids that are in there for long-term treatment can go to the very top of the hospital and watch the games from the top. So one of the traditions that we have on campus is at the end of the first quarter, everybody in the stadium, including the players and the refs and the fans, will turn and look up at the kids to wave and say, "Hi, we see you, we're cheering you on." And that just speaks to the community that is of Iowa City. It's not just the students, it's not just the community members. We really do give back to each other. So when visits open up, we would love to have you visit campus just so you can feel that energy. So now I will turn it over to Scott for you to learn more about Indiana.
Thanks, Annabelle. Well, hi again, everybody. My name is Scott Siegel, a Senior Associate Director of Admissions at IU Bloomington. And you see a shot there of the sample gates, which are the front doors to our institution. IU is a large public research university. We have about 33,000 undergrads and another 10,000 grad students. You'll also see that we are in Bloomington, Indiana, which is about an hour south of Indianapolis. About 85,000 permanent residents in Bloomington. We do have quite a few students from Illinois that choose to come to IU every year, just a shade under 900 in our freshman class this year of 7,900. So virtually 1 in 8 freshmen is from Illinois, but that's part of a larger non-resident cohort on our campus. 40% of our students come to us from outside of the state of Indiana, whether that be from another state here in the United States or internationally. We're also quite a diverse campus with almost 27% of our students from the United States being from underrepresented populations, with another 10% international students, meaning that over 35% of undergraduate students on our campus are either non-white or not from the United States. So we do draw students from all 50 states, 130 different countries. And students choose Indiana for all kinds of different reasons. Certainly, I think a lot are looking for that kind of classic residential Big Ten kind of college experience that we offer down in Bloomington, fantastic student life opportunities, and I'll talk about those in just a minute. Lots of school spirit and enthusiasm about our Division I Big Ten programs, and an outstanding academic reputation. You'll see there are 12 different schools that offer 200 different majors. Some of the things that we are well known for include our business program, the Kelly School of Business, consistently ranked as one of the top 10 undergraduate business schools in the country. We also have a world-class music school at IU, the Jacobs School of Music, and a real strong focus in the performing arts. So beyond music, we have a BFA, a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater and Contemporary Dance. We have a ballet company. And like Iowa, if you are interested in, say, a business major or a journalism major, or you're interested in public health, you can still be involved with the performing arts on our campus. It's a huge part of our campus culture. We're also well known for our media school communications degrees. So journalism, advertising, public relations, cinema arts, broadcasting, game design, all of those things in a fantastic new facility in Franklin Hall. As I mentioned, that's the program I graduated from at IU, was our media school. And then we also have a fantastic reputation in languages. We teach over 70 different languages at IU, more than any place else in the United States. You'll find 4 flagship programs at IU that are funded by the Department of Defense. Those are in Mandarin, Turkish, Arabic, and Russian. And those are all housed in the Hamilton Luger School of Global and International Studies. So great opportunities to either continue on a language that you've been doing in high school or try something new that isn't offered at your high school. We also have a very robust study abroad program, actually ranked number 6 in the country as far as the number of students who study abroad. It's about 2,500 students that leave our campus every year and go to Europe, Asia, Latin America, Australia, Africa, the Middle East. You'll find programs in English as well as about 25 different languages. All told, we offer 380 different opportunities to study abroad as an undergraduate at IU. So all of our freshmen are required to live on campus, and we do guarantee housing for all 4 years. That first year, there's a really strong emphasis on helping you make the transition from high school to college, and right around 92-93% of our freshmen return for their sophomore year. So for a school our size with freshman classes, right around 8,000 every year, to retain well over 90% into the sophomore year is a strong reflection of that first year experience, living on campus. Your first year academic advisor would most likely have his or her office in your residential neighborhood. You're going to find a lot of different resources for you to be successful, both inside and outside the classroom. Things like writing tutorial centers and math tutorial centers, technology and computing resources, all set up right around where you live. And then you'll also find about 25 different living learning communities that are available for our first year students. So if you would like to live with other students who are also interested in media or in languages or in business or education or the health sciences, you can choose from one of those living learning communities and sort of have a built-in study group. You'd be taking some of the same freshman year classes with students from your hall or your building. And then there are additional faculty advisors and upper class mentors to make sure that you're acclimating to the academic and the social and cultural environments on our campus and in Bloomington. And the next slide, please. The community of Bloomington is a fantastic place to live for 4 years. Again, about 85,000 permanent residents, about an hour south of Indianapolis. So it is a standalone mid-sized college town with great places to go out to eat, to see live music, to see theater, comedy clubs, art galleries, a farmer's market, an extensive recreation trail system. You'll find that students will tell you as many things as they love about Bloomington as they do about IU. They're really synonymous with one another. The folks in town are really excited about the athletic programs at IU, all the arts and cultural opportunities. So many, many ways to get involved, not only on campus, but in Bloomington. So if you're a senior and you're thinking about applying to IU this upcoming year, the next slide will show you sort of a little bit about what we're looking for in terms of our admission standards. We operate with early action, so that's going to be a November 1 deadline with us. And if you apply by November 1, you're guaranteed a decision by January 15th. November 1 is also a deadline to be considered for merit-based scholarships. And right around 70% of our Illinois freshmen this year did receive a merit-based scholarship. So some great opportunities to bring down the cost of attendance. So apply by November 1, you'll be considered for all of those opportunities, and you'll also receive a decision by January 15th. So you'll see there that we're looking for a strong college prep curriculum, at least 34 college prep semesters or credits across your 4 years in high school, looking at the weighted or unweighted GPA, whichever your school sends us, whichever one is higher. We also are test optional now, and that will be a process for us going forward. We announced back in January that we were going test optional. So if you would like to send us scores, you're welcome to do that. We do super score both the ACT and the SAT. But if you've not been able to test, or you just don't want to send us your scores, you want to be considered on other factors, you would get a full review for admissions, for scholarships, for our honors program, for direct admission into your first choice school or major, all without scores. And then we do have a required essay. It is our supplement on the Common Application, a very straightforward why us kind of essay. Why do you feel like we'd be a good fit for you in terms of reaching your academic or career goal? And if you click one more time for the slide, I think you're going to see here the admitted freshman ranges there in terms of grades and test scores. You'll see that we're looking for a solid B+ kind of GPA, a mid to upper 20s kind of ACT composite, or the SAT equivalent if you're planning to send those. And then just a couple of other quick things. Annabelle mentioned a great all-campus tradition at Iowa, and I wanted to do the same for Indiana. The Little 500 bike races that happen on our campus every April. Those are the largest intramural cycling events in the country. They were immortalized in the movie Breaking Away, which won several Oscars back in the late 70s. It's always listed among ESPN's greatest sports movies of all time. If you've heard the term Cutters, that's the name of the bike team that wins in Breaking Away, and it's also the nickname for folks who were born and raised in Bloomington because of the stone quarries nearby. So the Little 500 is a great all-campus tradition. It raises money for student scholarships, and it's something that's a big part of the campus culture at IU. So I'm going to turn things over to Mizzou for Steph to talk a little bit more about the Tigers.
Thanks so much. Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Duff. I'm with the University of Missouri, or Mizzou. And again, I'm the Chicago regional representative, but I'm happy to help any of you that are coming from other areas of Illinois. The University of Missouri has over 31,000 total students, with over 4,000 of those coming from Illinois. So Illinois is very strongly represented at Mizzou. Well, we have Tigers that come from all 50 states and 120 countries. So we attract Tigers from all over the country and all over the world. Part of that is how unique we are as a university. So we are part of the AAU, as is Indiana and Iowa. All three of us are members of the Association of American Universities. These are the top 62, 63 universities on the North American continent in terms of research. So we are tier 1 research universities. We are also all three one of 34 public universities to be a part of that group. There's only 34 public universities that are top tier 1 research universities with the AAU. But Mizzou is not only the AAU institution for the state of Missouri, we're also the land grant university for the state of Missouri. So for Indiana, that's Purdue, and for Iowa, that's Iowa State. So Mizzou is both of those schools for the state of Missouri, which makes us very unique and a really great value as well. We are one of only 6 public universities in the entire country to have a medical school, a vet school, and a law school all on one campus. So all of those graduate programs are on our campus. We're located in Columbia, Missouri, as mentioned earlier. So we're a top 25 city to live in, but consistently ranked as one of America's best college towns. Over 125,000 permanent residents, and then we have over 31,000 students that are there as well, with over 200 shops and restaurants. A great thing about Columbia, so like Iowa City, as Annabelle mentioned, downtown Columbia is across the street from campus. So you can be walking from the football field on the far side of campus across the entire campus into downtown Columbia in about a 10 to 15 minute walk. So very pedestrian-friendly campus in downtown area. You can bring a car as a freshman, but you absolutely do not need one because there's so much going on in downtown Columbia and on campus. We have over 18 different festivals that take place throughout the year, and these are big time festivals. We're actually home to one of the country's largest documentary film festivals. We host multitude of international photography competitions. We have museums in Columbia downtown. We have art galleries. We have over 20 different live music venues. We bring in big name artists from every type of music, from Jason Aldean, Thomas Rhett to McGraw, Chance the Rapper, Kendrick Lamar, Imagine Dragons, big name speakers, plays, musicals, ballets, classical. So pretty much anything you could be interested in, there's going to be something for you at Mizzou and in Columbia. There's over 89 parks as well, so it's an absolutely stunning place. Campus itself is a registered botanic garden. So it is unbelievably gorgeous all year round, consistently ranked one of America's most beautiful campuses. But Columbia is host to 89 parks, so tons of hiking trails, biking trails, running trails. And a huge perk for the University of Missouri is that we offer in-state tuition after a year. So you only have to pay 1 year of out-of-state tuition, and then you can be set for in-state tuition for the rest of your time at Mizzou. You just need to stay in the state of Missouri, so in Columbia, in a dorm, or in St. Louis or Kansas City for 1 summer. Typically, students stay that summer between their freshman and sophomore year. It's a quick 5-step process, easy, simple, transparent 5-step process to get in-state tuition for our students. So definitely reach out to me if you have more questions, or you can look up our residency program for Mizzou. We have over 300 degree programs. So there are so many options for you in 13 different schools and colleges, as well as an awesome Discover program for our undeclared majors. Being undecided is the 4th most popular major for our incoming freshmen, because let's face it, at 18, you don't have to know what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's okay. So the Discover program, you have special advisors helping you figure out which major is the best path for you, or even putting together your own major. I actually triple majored at Mizzou in music, communication, and Spanish. So a great thing about Mizzou is also that we don't have barriers between our schools and colleges. We make it very easy for you to customize your education on our campus to be what you want it to be. And every single major on our campus uses what we call the Missouri method, very well known for it. Basically, it's learning by doing career-focused courses. It was originally coined by our School of Journalism, which is the world's first school of journalism. And for instance, we're the only school in the entire world to own and operate a network affiliate news station. So our news station that students run as part of their curriculum is the NBC station that is broadcast to 60 counties of mid-Missouri. We also have the city newspaper that our students run. We have ad agencies that do national campaigns for brands like Ocean Spray Cranberry Juice, for instance. Every single degree program uses this hands-on method. Another example would be our engineering students. They build prosthetic limbs for animals in the vet school. They work with doctors in the hospital system. They actually were just printing 3D scoliosis patient spines so that doctors could see that before they did surgery. And we also, because we don't have barriers between the schools and colleges, they collaborate. So journalism worked with engineering and business students, and they all developed an app that was nationally ranked and put on Good Morning America. So definitely career focused to the courses. So how to get in, our admission requirements. We are on the Common App, and we have our own institutional application, just like Indiana and Iowa. And what we're looking for if you apply with a test score, we're going to look at your high school curriculum, 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 3 science, 3 social studies, 2 years of the same foreign language. We're going to use just those classes to come up with a core GPA. So only those core classes, unweighted on a 4.0 scale. And essentially, the higher your core GPA is, the more flexible we can be with your test score. So ACT or SAT, but those scores have to be sent directly from the testing agencies. We will super score. So that is new this year, that Mizzou will super score. If you have a 24 or 1160 or higher, you're going to be directly admissible to Mizzou as long as you're in good academic standing. Now we know that a lot of you haven't had the opportunity to test, so we have a test optional pathway as well. You do need to send your official high school transcript, just like you would with a traditional application. But instead of a test score, you're going to submit a resume and a personal statement. Examples of both of those, the prompts and an example resume, are on our website. But once you apply, you'll upload those to your application status page, which is something you'll get via an email link from us. Great thing about the test optional pathway is that you can always send us a test score later on. So if you apply now, test optional, and you take the ACT or SAT in October or December or this spring, you can always send us a score later on and we'll consider it for both admission and scholarships. We actually take test scores to upgrade your scholarship packages through July after senior year. There's a lot of time to get a higher and higher super score for those automatic scholarships. We do offer scholarships for both applying with a test score and test optional. Similar to what Annabelle mentioned with Iowa, 30 is our average class size. So while a lot of people would be thinking that everything's large lecture halls, that's not the case. In instance, even if you have a large lecture hall, so I had an intro to geology course, for instance, you have 200 people in your lecture twice a week, and then you have 20 to 30 people in your lab for that third class during the week. They do a great job of breaking it back down. We're extremely proud of that 90% retention rate. So that's for this fall. So with COVID and everything going on in the world, 90% of our students returned from their freshman year to their sophomore year this fall. We're really proud of what that says about us as a university and how we engage students and make sure they're successful, not only academically, but socially, emotionally, financially, every way. 92.7% is our successful career outcomes rate. Essentially, this is a job placement rate within 6 months of graduation. So it says 92.7% of our students within 6 months had a job, were enrolled in going to grad school, or a part of the military. We're also incredibly proud of our successful careers for our students, and a lot of that has to do with the Missouri method and that they're already getting career experience as part of their curriculum in their coursework. Mizzou is part of the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, and we have over 20 NCAA Division I teams. A really awesome tradition for us is that we are the birthplace of homecoming. You're welcome. So that's been recognized by the NCAA, Trivial Pursuit, and it's been on Jeopardy. No big deal. So homecoming for us is over a month-long celebration. Not only is there every type of school spirit activity you could possibly imagine, with parade floats the size of like Macy's Day Parade floats and every single window in downtown Columbia painted, but it's also a entire community service, tons of community service projects throughout the month. We actually have the largest student-run blood drive in the entire country. We're so happy to be able to provide that blood to the American Red Cross, and we have an awesome food drive that's associated with the homecoming that provides a lot of food to our food banks in the area. 600 clubs and organizations. These range from, honors and networking organizations to social organizations. There's like a hammock club where they take naps. So really the whole spectrum, but community service is a huge emphasis on our campus. And we actually have the largest alternative break program in the country. So that is the students that are spending their spring breaks, winter breaks, fall breaks, traveling all over the country and all over the world doing community service. If you'd rather do more of a traditional study abroad, we have over 400 programs in nearly 50 countries. And there are special scholarships for studying abroad as well. So definitely look into that if you're interested once you're on Mizzou's campus. Finally, we have over 30 musical ensembles. And again, like the other institutions, you don't have to be a music major to take part in them. And we have over 50 different rec and club sports. So maybe you're not quite SEC Division I athletic ready, but you still want to play the sport that you're interested in. There's over 50 different ones offered through our rec center, which is legendary, to be completely honest. It was ranked best in the country by Sports Illustrated. So not only are those real palm trees you see in there, whirlpools, hot tubs, steam rooms, saunas, a spa, an outdoor pool, a rock wall, fitness classes, every type of equipment you can imagine, a huge diving well. So definitely an incredible facility to support wellness on our campus. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We will answer any questions that you have over the chat. Please do send a question via the Q&A. And thank you so much for joining us. Don't be shy. If you don't want to ask now, definitely take a picture of our names and emails so that you're able to follow up with us after. We'd love to keep in touch with all of you.
Well, I would say if there are no questions, want to thank today's presenters, Scott and Annabelle and Stephanie, for talking all about their universities.
It does look like we had a couple questions.
Oh, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
So do we have Greek life was a question that was asked by a student. And so that's a good question. 28% of Mizzou's campus is Greek. We do have Greek life, and there is an entire Greek town with beautiful large chapter homes and all of that. And then I'll let the other representatives answer for their institutions as well.
The University of Iowa has 14% of our student population are involved in the Greek system.
And at IU Bloomington, it's right around 20% of our undergraduates, but you have to think in terms of numbers like 14% at Iowa or 20% at Indiana. You're still talking about thousands and thousands of students that are involved with Greek life, but that also gives you some sense that it doesn't dominate all aspects of campus life. There are hundreds and hundreds of other organizations, and you can certainly be involved with a fraternity or sorority and involved with things like dance marathon or student government or rec sports or whatever the case may be. So it's certainly an option that's available on all of our campuses, but I don't think at any of our schools it dominates or it's the majority of our students.
Another question asked was about letters of rec. The University of Missouri does not require any letters of recommendation.
We do not, at Iowa, we do not require letters of recommendation either.
And letters of rec at Indiana are optional. If you send them, we would ask that you would keep it to one counselor and one teacher rec. If you are a candidate for our honors college or one of our more selective scholarships, there are letters of recommendation required with our selective scholarship application. But for general admission to the university, no, we do not require letters of recommendation.
There was also a question about summer programs. We do have academic summer programs for students. I would encourage you to reach out to me afterwards to ask more about the individual schools and colleges that offer summer programs.
Yeah, pre-college programs are a great way to get to learn a campus. In a lot of cases, you get to stay in the residence halls for a week or more, learn the physical campus, but also interact with current students and faculty. So we offer a wide variety of different pre-college programs, from our Summer Journalism Institute to our Women in Business Leaders Conference that happens through the Kelly School, to fine arts programs. So yeah, you find that those are really great ways to not only enrich your own education and learn more about what you're interested in, but also to gain some knowledge of the schools that you might be thinking about.
And same thing for Iowa. I actually included in my answer a link to our summer program, so feel free to check that out on your own time.
So it looks like we have one more question that maybe is kind of a two-parter here in terms of graduating early and taking classes at a local community college, as well as transferring, right? So there are a couple of things in this particular question. With us, if you were to graduate early, you would still need to meet the minimum number of classes in English, math, social science, lab science, foreign language to be admissible. And so a lot of times students that graduate early will have to double up in particularly English to be able to not only graduate in Illinois, but to meet admission standards for most of the schools that they're looking at. So if you are thinking about graduating early, you would have to take that into consideration. In terms of transferring, are hundreds, if not thousands, of transfer students at our institutions. We usually have about 1,000 transfers that enroll at IU over 4 different entry periods, fall, spring, and both the summer sessions. With us, you would need to have completed 26 credit hours at another institution that are transferable to be eligible for transfer admission. Otherwise, you would, with less than 26, you would still need to be admissible as as a freshman applicant as well. But we offer an online course articulation catalog. So if you were going to attend a local community college in your area in Illinois, most of those institutions are represented on our transfer guide, where you can take a look and see exactly what that English class at College of Lake County would transfer into Bloomington and look like. So there are resources that you can go ahead and look at before you even registered for classes to make sure that the credit hours would transfer to the institution that you're interested in.
Yeah, everything Scott said is also applicable for the University of Missouri.
Same thing with Iowa. However, I do want to mention that if you do graduate early in December, but your transcript says that you officially graduate and walk with your class in June, you'll actually be considered a first-year student, even if you've taken classes at a community college. So it's really just based on how your high school will list that on your transcript. But again, like with any, like if you have any specific questions related to Iowa and that process, I mean, certainly reach out. And then also, like if you are starting at a community college and you have a particular major in mind, we have transfer advisors who are willing to work with you to make sure that you're taking classes that will go towards business or go towards engineering. If you're open major, we'll make sure that your classes are going to transfer in as those general education courses. So certainly reach out if you are planning on potentially transferring.
Looks like we did get another question. So I think each of us can answer this. Do you have to live on campus all 4 years? When can you live off campus? Are there kitchen opportunities as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior? So with us, you do need to live on campus. You're required to live in the residence halls your freshman year, and then you can move off campus as a sophomore. Once you're a sophomore, you could also move into more of an apartment style option that's on campus that would have a kitchen and have more of that sort of living arrangement, more of an apartment style option. But we actually offer meal plans to students that live off campus. So if you decided to move off campus into an apartment or a rental house with friends, but you weren't quite ready to cook for yourself 7 days a week, you could live off campus and still maintain a meal plan and use those meal points at the residence halls, but also in university libraries and the union and other food service places on campus.
Yeah, we do require students to live on campus their first year, then they're welcome to move off. But all of our dorms are either brand new or they were just recently renovated, like cut down to the studs and completely rebuilt. So all of them are extremely nice. All of them have kitchens, so you have access to kitchens even as a freshman. And then our dining halls are spread out all over campus. And we do have nutritionists on staff that can work with you if you have any dietary restrictions.
And at Iowa, we currently don't have a live-in requirement, but I would say 94% of our students decide to live in at least 1 year. I did include a link which will show you a list of our living learning communities, but then also a list of our residence halls that we have on campus. As an incoming first-year student, you can choose to live in any of them. And there is one in particular that does have like more of an apartment style feel to it, which is Mayflower. So as you're looking through that list, feel free to check out Mayflower. That's the one that I lived in. It is a little bit further off of campus, but you have those amenities of having your kitchen and your own bathroom.
Well, that looks like that's it for the questions from this group. And so I think we are just about at time. So we'll turn it back over to our moderator, who I think has some parting words in terms of evaluations and where to find other videos and recordings as you're doing your college search process.
Thanks so much. That was a great panel. And we want to thank all of you for joining us. When you close your window, there is going to be a link to it's a very quick 4-question survey, and we'd really appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, as I mentioned earlier, this was just one of many sessions being hosted. So make sure you go to the IACAC website, check out what other sessions you might be interested in, and sign up for those. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording, as well as all of the other session recordings at iacac.org. So that's where you can sign up for more sessions. That's where you'll find your recordings. We want to thank you all for attending and enjoy the rest of your day.